ஓகே. அப்ப நான் இப்ப இதிலயே வச்சுட்டுமா?
அப்படியே வச்சிருங்க. நான் வந்து யூடியூப் இது உங்களுக்கு அனுப்பிச்சு விட்டுமா?
எனக்கு அனுப்பிச்சு விடுங்க. ஏற்கனவே ஒண்ணு அனுப்பியிருக்கீங்களா?
இல்ல. இப்ப அனுப்புறேங்க சார்.
இப்ப அனுப்புங்க. எனக்கு அனுப்பிச்சு விடுங்க.
ஓகே.
ஏற்கனவே ஒண்ணு அனுப்பியிருக்கீங்களா?
இல்லைங்க சார். இப்பதான் அனுப்பிச்சிருக்கேன்.
இப்ப அனுப்புங்க.
இல்லைங்க சார். இப்பதான்
எக்கோ இருந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு மேம்.
இல்ல, நான் மியூட் போட்டேன் இப்போ.
ஓகே.
நான் இப்ப லிங்க் கொடுத்துறேங்க சார் எல்லாத்துக்கும்.
மேம் வந்துருச்சு. யூடியூப் லிங்க்ல வந்துருச்சு.
ஓகே சார். ஓகே.
டிலேல உனக்கு கரெக்ட் தானே இருக்கும். என் வீடியோ தெரியுதா? மீடியால மியூட் பண்ணிரு. இது கொண்டா மேல ஸ்க்ரோல் மேல இருக்கு. ஹலோ, கேட்கல இல்ல? இப்போ போஸ்டர் மட்டும் தெரியுதா? இந்த ஸ்கிரீன் இல்லையே. என் வீடியோ தெரியுது இல்ல? என் வீடியோ நீ முக்கியமா பாரு. எத்தனை பேர் ஜாயின் பண்ணிருக்காங்க தெரியுதா?
medicine.
யூடியூப் ஆப்ல சார் வேற எதுவும் பண்ணாத. யூடியூப் ஆப் யூடியூப்
Sir, we will start within 2 minutes.
Okay, madam. No problem.
So shall we start?
Yeah, yes, madam. No problem.
Okay.
How many participants have joined, madam?
1 second. 147.
Should we wait for some more 2 minutes?
Okay, sir. Shall we start by 11:05?
Yeah, yes, absolutely no problem.
Okay.
Because we have given the time as 11 a.m. only.
Okay, okay.
Have you sent the link also in mail?
Yes, sir.
Because some people may be using laptops.
Not in mail, sir. Only WhatsApp group. So 750, above 750 are there.
Because it will be a bit difficult to take the link from WhatsApp to a laptop.
Sir, shall we start?
Yeah, yes, madam.
A very good morning to one and all. I am Mrs. A. Asunta, Assistant Professor in the Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering, SRM IST, Coordinator for this FDP. Welcome to Online Faculty Development Program on Machine Learning and Deep Learning. I would like to take this opportunity to extend a hearty welcome to the head of the department, Dr. A. Vimala Juliet, our chief guest, Dr.D.Jude Hemanth, faculty members from various colleges in India and abroad, and research scholar for the online faculty development on machine learning and deep learning. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce our eminent speaker, Dr. D. Jude Hemanth. Dr. Jude Hemanth graduated in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Bharatiyar University in 2002, Masters in Communication Systems from Anna University in 2006, and PhD from Karunya University in 2013. Currently, he is working as Associate Professor in Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Karunya University, Coimbatore. His research areas include computational intelligence and image processing. He has authored more than 100 research papers in reputed SCIE indexed international journals and Scopus indexed international conferences. His cumulative impact factor is more than 110. He has published 27 edited books with reputed publishers such as Elsevier, Springer, and IET. He has been serving as associate editor of SCIE indexed international journals such as Journal of Intelligent and Fuzzy System. He serves as an editorial board member, guest editor of many international journals with leading publishers such as Elsevier, Springer, and InterScience. He is the series editor of Biomedical Engineering book series in Elsevier and Robotics and Healthcare book series with CRC. He has received a project grant with 35,000 UK pound from Government of UK with collaborators from University of Westminster, UK. He has also completed one funded research project from CSIR, Government of India, and one ongoing funded project from DST, Government of India. He also serves as the research scientist of Computational Intelligence and Information Systems Lab, Argentina, Lapisco Research Lab, Brazil, Riadi Lab, Tunisia, and Research Center for Applied Intelligence, Romania. He has been the organizing committee member of several international conferences across the globe, such as Portugal, Romania, UK, Egypt, China. He has delivered more than 100 keynote talks, invited lectures in international conferences and workshops. He holds professional membership with IEEE Technical Committee on Neural Network and IEEE Technical Committee on Soft Computing. Now, I request Dr. Jude Hemanth to take over the session. Please, sir. So before starting the session, I request all the participants to subscribe our channel. And at the end of the session, I will give you the assignment link and the attendance link. Please go to the chat for the further information. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for your lengthy introduction. Hello, everyone. I would wish you a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good evening. The reason is this workshop or this FDP has attracted participants across the globe. I heard from the coordinator that the number of participants is close to 1,000. And when I just scanned through the list of participants, I could find that we have participants from all the states of India except Jammu Kashmir. And also we have participants from Malaysia, we have participants from Indonesia, all the universities of those people has represented in this work FDP. And also there is one person from East Africa. I do not know how the brochure or poster reached them. Whoever or whatever position you may be, we are diversified by our culture, language, our region, but let us unite together and learn something useful for the next 5 days. As I tell you that we are diversified by language and culture, now we have a common problem. Can you guess what is that problem? Yeah, I could hear some of you muttering that COVID-19, right? We are sitting at the comfort of home and learning some new technologies for the luxury of our life, I would say. But there are so many people who are struggling outside in the streets, in the hospitals, especially the migrant workers in India, right? Let us pledge at this moment to help in whatever possible way we can do some help to them, right? Thank you very much. You will take that forward. Now I will go into the FDP. And the FDP is on machine learning and deep learning, one of the hardcore of engineering nowadays. Wherever you go, people talk about machine learning and deep learning. All the application part, or whether it may be an academia part or in the research part, machine learning or deep learning are going to rule the world. Now, in this 5 days workshop, we will be having a different variety of information on these concepts. So this is a lengthy introduction Asunta madam gave about me. Right. So this PowerPoint presentation I always have with me. This is like a energy meter for me. So whenever I deliver another talk between the two talks, I just go through this and just try to find out if I can add on to any of these bullet points. Right. If I am unable to add any bullet points, then it says that I have kept quiet for so much period, maybe 1 month or 1.5 months. Right. So I will keep on updating that maybe in a weekly basis so that I will always grow. I will always advise the participants also. You have a PPT of this sort. So whenever somebody asks about you, you can give the PPT slide with all the information about you people. As a beginner, you may not have much, but when you add on, when the days goes on, you can add on many details and these points. So we have some general guidelines for you people. This is not given by the coordinator. This is my own guidelines for you. Many categories of people may be attending this workshop, right? I will classify you people as beginners, intermediate, and experts, right? So when I browse through the participants, I found that maybe at least 90 percentage of you people come under beginners category. I'm not very sure about that. And then we may have some intermediate people, and then there may be some expert. When I say expert, it is not necessary that you should know everything, but you know at least 75 percentage of what is going on around you. There may be another group of people. I did not give that in this slide, which I say that um, certificate group, right? The people who joined for a certificate, right? But I will advise you, let us make use of this 5 days time to learn at least something. So I will advise you to attend all the 5 sessions for all the 5 days. So to satisfy all the category needs, I have arranged the contents, right? Deep learning and machine learning is like an ocean. What we are going to learn is only the tip of the iceberg. But even in that, I have arranged all the contents right from the scratch to the advanced topics. So for the beginners, you will understand all the preliminary data, and for the people who comes under the B and C category, you will also get some advanced topics. So the contents of my lecture sessions will include the theories, mathematical concepts, equations. So whenever I say mathematics, you may not be much comfortable with that, but deep learning, machine learning is all about maths, right? So we'll have some mathematical derivations, and I have also planned to give some programming codes in MATLAB and Python language. Even if you do not know the language, it's not a big issue. You can learn later. I cannot see all of your faces. What I can see is only the general guidelines PPT which I have, but I expect you to have a notepad and pen. You may be sitting in a comfortable position, absolutely fine, but just don't look at the PPT. Just have a pen and a notepad so that you can scribble down some important points which may be useful further for your research career. You need not write everything. That is not required because this video will be available to you. But however, make down some points which is attractive to you. Again, how to learn from a workshop, right? So whenever you see a PowerPoint line in your video, you must be in a position to derive at least 10 inferences from a single line, right? If I say today it will rain, you must make sure so that we'll need umbrella, the clouds will be dark. All those information you should be in a position to derive. That is the best way of growing in your research career, right? So do not wait for the PPT to be supplied to you. Just try to have some self-learning based on the information which I'm going to give in my presentation. And most of the contents, I would say 90 to 95 percentage or from my own experiences with my research in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. And it will have less contents from internet sources, right? Except for some images, I have used almost the writings are from my own experience. So you will get definitely a new information or information in a new dimension. And again, assignments will be given on a daily basis. Immediately, don't get scared. Assignments is something big. We have to write a test. Only if we pass the test, we will get certificate. It is not like that. It is only for you to grow. I am here to guide you through your initial phase of your research career for the next 5 days, right? So to make sure you have the continuous flow, I will give some works, right, which will not take more than 30 minutes of your time. So just kindly do that, and madam will give the instruction. Based on that, you can submit the assignments also. At the end of each session, I will be giving the assignments which you need to follow. And this one is very, very important, right? In communication terms, we say we have two components called as receiver and transmitter. What the transmitter does is not will not make much impact. The only important thing is what the receiver is going to receive, right? The channel will have more noises. When you reach the information is reached in the receiver, you should make sure that the noises are removed and only the useful information is observed. So you may have disturbing environment because you are sitting in your home, but make sure that you focus yourself to listen to the contents. The main objective of the workshop is to make all of you do some practical implementations, right? That is the main objective of my myself spending the time 5 hours in 1 week with you people, right? Because that is the one which I feel is lacking in most of the FDPs or workshops. People listen to theoretical concepts and just move away. But when they go for practical or real-time implementation, there is always a gap between what we study and when we go for implementation, right? So that part I want to attack and make sure that you feel comfortable or you do something when you go for your research outputs. Every day we'll have some question answer sessions. I know your mics are everything is mute. So we'll have a separate session for that. At the end of this 1 hour session, we will have you can give the information to Madam Coordinator. So whoever is interested to have a chat with me, you can join in the StreamYard live session so that you can ask questions and I can give you some clarifications. I would request you to attend all sessions, right? From day 1 to day 5, because the flow is very, very important. Always understand in a research, the main reason for a research paper not getting accepted is there will not be any flow between each lines and each paragraphs. So always I will advise you to attend all the sessions. So you will have the flow between the first part of the session till the last part of the last session, right? Agenda will be given only on that day. Don't follow the agenda in the poster. I have some overlapped information. So agenda will be given only on that day. So when madam asked me to deliver a lecture, she asked me whether I can give it for a 1 day. And then I said, okay. Then she called me just 5 hours later. Then she asked me whether we can have a 3 day webinar. Then I said, okay. Then again, the next day she called me and asked, can we have a 5 day webinar, right? I feel like I am transmitted from a 2020 cricket match to a 5 day test match, right? So let's play, take it as a mind game, and we'll going to start the day one. And the main agenda of day one is the slogan for day one is deep understanding, right? All the information will be theoretical in nature, and I want to make you to understand all the information in a better way. There will not be any mathematical stuffs. So these are the basics by which you are going to take over for the next 4 sessions in the next phase. Come on, we'll go. So this is the agenda for today's session. The main important factor is what is the difference between AI, ML, and DL. Most of us, right? I would say 95% of you will get stuck in that. Even if you are an academician, if you are supposed to frame a syllabus or a subject curriculum, or if you are a student, if you want to take up some important concepts, right, you will always get stuck in that because AI, ML, and DL almost look same. but they are not same, right? So that differences we will be seeing in much detail, right? So you will, at the end of this session, the objective is whenever somebody asks you about AI, you must be in a position to give the answer. ML, DL, everything should be clear cut to you, right? So next, types of machine learning techniques. This is the seed for the next day's session. And introduction to artificial neural networks, a theoretical perspective. Many of you would be knowing about artificial neural networks, but the information or the contents which I'm going to is slightly different from a psychology point of view or from neuroscience point of view. And then we'll have the question answer. So now we'll start. What is the difference between AI, ML, and GL? If it would have been a live session, face-to-face session, I would have asked this question to you. Many of you would have given many answers, but we will see what is the difference between these three. AI, ML, and DL are still under research, right? You should accept that, and even I accept that, right? There is no concrete definition for any of these tech giants. It's like Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? We say V is equal to IR, right? Or in any other branch. I see many of you from mechanical, electrical, different branches of people are here. But most of your contents will have some specific definitions, right? But when we go for these AI, ML, and DL, there is no concrete definition. You will get an answer depending upon which person you are talking to. However, the hierarchy is fixed, right? The hierarchy is fixed. Which one comes first, which one comes second, and which one comes third. That hierarchy is fixed, which must be known to all engineers working in the field of artificial intelligence, right? What is that hierarchy? They are not three different entities, right? AI, ML, and DL are not different, right? At the same time, they are not same, right? But the idea is one is the subset of another. Mainly we get a confusion, right? Because some people come to me and they ask me, sir, you teach me machine learning and I don't want deep learning. Because the word learning is available in both ML and DL, right? People get confused whether it is a different entity, because machine learning means it's a broad category of technology, and deep learning is another broad category of technology. So people mostly get confused whether they are same or different. This is the slide which is very, very important for you people, right? Artificial intelligence is a broad umbrella, right? It is a broad umbrella. Under artificial intelligence, we have a subset called as machine learning, which maybe I would say around 10% of AI can be occupied by machine learning. Nowadays, it is going to grow exponentially, but still there are many other aspects related with AI than only going for machine learning. In machine learning, there is another concept called as deep learning, which is a smaller subset. Right? So this hierarchy, you must always understand how this hierarchy is framed, how one technique is different from other. That we will be seeing in the subsequent slides. For the time being, you understand artificial intelligence is a broad umbrella. Under that, we have machine learning. Under that, we have deep. So what is artificial intelligence? First, we'll be seeing the contents of artificial intelligence in a broader manner, right? So artificial intelligence, some people call it as machine intelligence, right? Some people call it as computational intelligence, and there are so many other names, but almost everything corresponds to the same concept of AI. So whenever you heard a word like artificial intelligence, right? Artificial flavor, in terms of food, right? Immediately you must have a thought that if you have a word like artificial, then definitely there should be something called as natural also. Am I right? Right? Definitely will accept that. What is that natural stuff? Very, very important, right? God created humans and he gave natural intelligence to them. Do you accept that? Most of you will be accepting that, right? God created humans and he gave natural intelligence to them. What do you mean by natural intelligence? When a child is born, he or she immediately starts crying whenever she needs something, right? It is a way of showing your request to your environment, right? That is called as natural intelligence. People are still struggling to focus on or zero down on how these things happen inside human brain. But nobody knows. Only you should ask God how it happens. Now, the next part of the story, right? Humans are comfortable in the world. They are living a comfortable life, right? Now the humans want luxury, right? Humans want luxury. You must know the difference between comfortable and luxury, right? Traveling in any mode can be called as comfortable rather than walking. But traveling in a costly or expensive car is luxury, right? These humans, they need, or we humans, we need something more comfortable. So they are interested in creating some machines. And for that machines, they are going to give some intelligence called as artificial intelligence. So that that machines also can behave like human. This is the ultimate idea or the need or the seed behind the concept of AI. So this is the flow: God, humans, and machines. Right? Whenever humans create problem, God has the power to unplug us. You should accept that. Right? Now the question is: whenever we create some machines, do we have the firepower to unplug from machines? $1 million question. Now, what is natural intelligence? Before going into artificial intelligence, we will see something about natural intelligence. What is natural intelligence? Is the ability of human beings to take decisions, right? All the text which I'm giving in some colors are very, very important till the fifth day of our FDP, right? Is the ability of human beings to take some decisions or decision making, right? So now you can make a decision, right? You are watching this FDP, you can switch off and go, right? Or if you feel interesting, you are going to stick on to for another 30 minutes or 40 minutes. The decision is yours. When she receive a stimulus. What is the stimulus? Stimulus is nothing but the input. Whenever a human being receives some input, he is going to make a decision. Our entire life revolves around this, nothing else, right? How you make correct decisions in the real time world depends on you. Each person will have their own decision making skills and responsibilities. So, what is this input, right? What is this input? How we make a decision, right? Input to human beings is via five senses. You should have learned all these things in your KG classes, right? What are the five sensory organs of human body? Eye, ear, skin, tongue or mouth. Then we have the nose, right? Understand clearly, a human being receives input only via these five sensory organs, right? That's what we call it as data. Not only machines receive data, even human beings receive data. What are those information? From the eye, we can have the images or videos. So that's why I would like to say, stress on the fact, deep learning and machine learning, artificial intelligence are always close to image processing. If any one of you come and say both are different, never accept that, right? Because AI, broad area of AI depends on images and you can say also videos. Then we have the ear, where we have the audio signals or the speech signals. Apart from these two things, all the other sensory organs give some data in the form of what I would say, something which you can feel, temperature, whether it is hot or cold now. If you are in northern part of India, you will say definitely it is very hot, right? A person who is doing research and not able to get their publications get through, they say, I am under tremendous pressure, right? These are some of the quantifiable terms, but still it is not able to represent in terms of a language pattern, right? Temperature, cold, very cold, warm, right? Pressure, high pressure, low pressure. These are some of the parameters. These constitutes the data for a natural intelligence or a human being. So before taking a decision, he should receive any one of these data. So whenever you go for your artificial intelligence also, the most important thing is what is your data. If your data is insufficient, most of the system may go wrong. I will not say that it will go wrong, it may go wrong. So make sure that your data is sufficient, and accurate to the maximum possible extent. These are called as analog inputs or raw data. Normally, when we say analog signal, immediately we say you take a cathode ray oscilloscope and you will get an analog signal. But that is not actually an analog signal. It is a replica of an analog signal because it does not have any information within it. So these inputs reaches the human brain and the humans take decisions. Right? This is called as natural intelligence, the system of the earth or the system of the world where God, humans, and natural intelligence are related. The most important takeover from this section is decision making with different types of inputs. Now, you can ask me, sir, what happens inside the process of natural intelligence? We give the inputs and I take a decision, right? But what happens inside the human brain is still not fully explorable by human beings, right? We will discuss about it later, but for the time being, you understand that it is slightly complex, right? Some of the examples you can ask. Why does a 6-month-old baby cry when he or she is hungry? Right? Nobody knows the answer. He is hungry. You understand that, or you guess that he or she is hungry, and you feed her. Automatically, the baby will stop crying. How do you find your way home from your university? Right? You stand at the entrance of your department. How you come to your university? Right? You say that I know the way. I walk and come. But what happens inside the human brain? It is still not fully explorable. Right? So tidbit one, right? You will have some tidbits also. About 85% of the inputs received by brain are via eyes, images, right? Images are very, very important and they are part and parcel of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning because you understood that intelligence will work only if you have some very good amount of data. When I say 85% of the inputs of a human being is via eyes, then this is going to have a major say in your decision making. What is artificial intelligence? Now, slowly we come to the next part called as artificial intelligence. We cannot go into AI directly. Can you say why? God created human beings, right? Only then we had the concept of natural intelligence. But now we do not have any hard structure to incorporate artificial intelligence to that specific machine or structure or some concept or a robot, right? So the first point is you need to make a hardware structure. Only then you can give the concept of intelligence to that machine. So the process of making a complete artificial human being is called as artificial life. Right? Have you heard about this word called as artificial life? You can Google it down. There are some concepts about this artificial life, but it is very, very vague, right? The idea is an artificial human being exactly moving in this world like a natural human being. God created natural human being. Now we are trying to create the artificial human being. Now I'm talking only about the hardware part or the structure. So this structure or this machine will be visible to human eyes. Now you can saw it, you can call it as a robot, which is completely a hardware based. When I say hardware and software, software is not visible to our eyes, hardware is visible to our eyes, right? So how you can make a hardware structure? This process requires the assistance of design, right? Robotics, mechanical engineering people will come into picture. Sensors, right? Artificial nose, artificial body parts, you can say artificial kidney, everywhere it is available now in the Western countries, right? So that can be taken as a sensor. Electronics people will come into picture and other circuit branches like electrical and instrumentation, whatever it may be, everything will come into picture. And apart from that, we have also the software part where computer science will come into picture. But till now, when we say that we are preparing a hardware structure, the effect of computer science is very, very less. Hardware structure is mainly based on the robotics people and I would say sensors people. Only when you feel like you are going to give an intelligence to the artificial human being, Who will come into action? The computer science will come into action. Right? So some people will say AI is common to all. I would also agree that AI is common to all, but robots and AI are completely different. Robot is a structure without any intelligence, right? When you have to give some intelligence to a robot, then we have the concept of all software will come into picture. Otherwise, it is going to be only a dumb structure where the design or the hardware based output only will be. What I'm trying to say is, when you say the hardware part, the circuit branches and also the mechanical people will come. But when we say AI, it is always computer based, right? Computer science based, because intelligence is a parameter which we cannot see, which we can only experience, right? That portion of that stuff which can be given only with the help of computer algorithms. Okay, AI is the science and engineering of making machines, right? Which can behave without the support of human intelligence. It must do actions on its own. So when I create a machine, I should give intelligence to that so that it is adaptable to the environment and take decisions on its own. This is the main objective of any AI scientist. You would have seen the movie called as Terminator, right? Many of you would have seen. You can see some human beings are the villains coming as a machine and doing all things, right? They move on their own, right? They move on their own. So now we'll see what are the major components of AI. This AI is a broad umbrella under which hardware people will come, mechanical people will come, then we have the electronics people will come, and the computer science people also will come. But when you say artificial intelligence, it completely belongs to computer science or computer algorithms. You may have some contradictory opinions, but this is the state of the art, what is going on in the field of artificial intelligence. So now I would say, many of the people may not know about AI. The only word they would have heard about is ML. So whenever they ask AI, AI and ML, AI and ML, but that is not actually the same. The first important component of AI is knowledge, reasoning, or representation. My data, which is which has to be processed, is analog in nature. How I can convert my analog data into a suitable form for my machine? That concept is called as knowledge, reasoning, or representation. You can also call it as mathematical modeling. Many researchers are going on this area. Planning, searching, right? When you have a large amount of data, what are you going to choose, or how many data you are going to choose? That are called as search methods, right? These search methods are another component or part of AI, which is also another research area. Natural language processing, as I told you, the data for a human being is via our speech or the audio signals also. So this natural language processing was also gaining much attention in the field of AI. You would have seen some virtual reality applications where the teacher will not be present in the class, but instead some machines will come and take the class. Exactly, he will look like the teacher, right? For that, the speak or the voice should also resemble the teacher. For that, we also go for NLP. NLP is the short form for natural language processing. Next, we have the computer vision, where I told you, the images or the videos will play a major role in that. Human computer interaction, right? These are all some of the research areas I'm giving you. So if you want to work in that, you can explore further into that. Human computer interaction. What is human computer interaction? Don't think it is something very big, right? When I touch my keyboard, I can also call it as a human computer interaction. I am a human, I am touching a keyboard, I can call it as HCI or BCA. When you put on the switch, right? When you touch the switchboard, that can be also called as a human computer interaction. But we have also some advanced concepts in HCE. And the last one is not the last one. One part is called as machine learning. Do you understand the flow now? Artificial intelligence is a broad umbrella. Under that, we have so many segments. One small segment is machine learning. So immediately don't come to a conclusion that AI and machine learning are same. Machine learning is a part of AI, and machine learning is not the only one which is going to contribute for AI. So if you want to frame a curriculum or a syllabus for AI, it is very, very, very difficult. It's not that easy, right? You cannot put AI in a 5 contents or 5 subjects. It is going to be huge. So now we are going to see about what is it machine learning, how it helps in getting an intelligence to the machine. So the process of making the machine independently adapt, right? Till this line, it is same as AI. By what method? By learning from past experiences, right? So if the machine learns from the past experiences, or the data which you supply is given to that machine in such a way that it learns something, then we say that that is going to be ML. So what do you mean by learning from experiences? A theoretical term. You supply a large amount of already known data to make the machine learn. Historical data, or sometimes we can say it is an already known data. So that if you say for example, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, right? You give 2 plus 3 and also 5, the machine will automatically learn that 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Whenever it makes a mistake, you need to supply extra amount of data, or you have to correct them, right? Correct them so that it will take a correct decision. Finally, everything is talking about decision making only. Any such technique or method which makes the machine learn from past experiences can be categorized under ML or machine learning. Machine learning approaches are mostly iterative. How do you learn? Can you learn everything in a single day? No, no, not possible, right? You need to learn daily or often. That's what we call it as iterative, and involve the concepts of training and testing. These are the two factors, training and testing, which we are going to see further in our sessions. Very, very important. Always MLDL, training, testing. You would have heard about Alexa, right? It is common everywhere now. It is based on ML, right? You request Alexa to do something, to play a song, and it will play a song for you. Sometimes scientists or the researchers say it will also make a wrong decision, but the next time it will correct itself. How? Based on your response, or based on your answers, and based on its past mistake, it will correct itself, right? So it is one example for machine learning. And machine learning finds application in almost all areas such as forecasting, prediction, business. That's why if you are from an arts and science background, or if you are from chemical engineering or biotechnology or computer science or electrical, renewable energy, whatever it may be, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, everybody can use machine learning. Machine learning, deep learning is like a tool. Anybody can make use of that tool for their application. It's like a plate in which we eat the food, right? It can hold rice, it can hold chapati, it can hold noodles. Everything can be placed there, right? So that is the difference between the tools and the applications. Tidbits two: AI leads to wisdom. Machine learning leads to knowledge. This is the difference between AI and ML. AI is a broad category, right? Under that, one part or one way in which you can make the machine intelligent is called as machine learning, which is going to be done with the help of a already known data. Now, what is this wisdom and knowledge? How many of you know the difference between wisdom and knowledge? I'll ask you a simple question, right? Is tomato a fruit or a vegetable? I think ladies should give me the correct answer. Tomato, whether it is a fruit or a vegetable. I cannot listen to your answers, but I hope most of you would have given the wrong answer, right? Tomato is a fruit. You can Google it down. Botanically, anything which has a seed within that comes under the category of fruits, right? And if you would have observed a tomato plant, you would have seen a green color tomato. Nobody will use that. That is in the vegetable form. Only if it is ripened, it comes with the color of red, and it is called as fruit. And again, the characteristic features of fruit, 95% of them will be juicy, ripened. So tomato is actually a fruit. How many of you know this? Right? If you have not known this, you have not gained knowledge in tomato. This is knowledge. Knowing things is knowledge. But my next question is, Ladies should answer me. Maybe some of the gents also can answer me. How many of you use tomato in fruit salad? Just because tomato is a fruit, you will not put tomato in the fruit salad. Am I right? Right. This is the difference between wisdom and knowledge. Knowing things is knowledge, but where do you apply that? Right? That is called as wisdom. So AI is the application part mostly where we cover all aspects, right? But ML corresponds to the knowledge or knowing things stuff of. So these are the types of machine learning algorithms. Hereafter, in my further presentations, I will not talk about AI, right? Our workshop is concentrating on ML and deep learning. So what is ML? Any method which gives intelligence to a machine to make it artificially intelligent via some giving some already known data is called as ML. What are the types of ML, machine learning algorithms? We are categorizing into three cases: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and also reinforcement learning, right? And these supervised learning are mostly used for two applications. Look at the third column. We have classification and regression. Classification is an application where input data will be given and the output is given in the form of a class, which group that input data belongs to. When you say regression, your input data will be categorized or given as an output in the form of a number. So, but if I want to say in a more precise way, regression is an application mostly used by mathematics people. They give some equation, the curve fitting. You should have heard about curve fitting. All those come under the concept of regression. Classification is what a pattern recognition will do. Next category is unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning has two applications. One is called as clustering and the other one is called as dimensionality reduction. What is clustering? Same as classification, but it has a difference. Most of the people do not know the difference between classification and clustering, but unsupervised alone comes under the category of clustering. And also we have dimensionality reduction where we can choose the number of data from a large set of data. And the last one is reinforcement learning, which is used for policy or decision making, where we have different components like agent, environment, and penalty. Now I'll give an explanation for supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. Can you see the diagram? This is an example for best example for supervised learning, right? You give some four data, right? So when you go for training, these four data should be an already known data, right? Supervised learning needs a data which category also it is known to the specific user. So look at the diagrams. We have two ducks and two other animals which are similar to ducks, but they are not ducks. So when you give it into supervised learning, your output is going to be whether this input is a duck or a not a duck, right? This is the concept of supervised learning, which I will say as classification. I'm going to classify the animals into different categories, which will also give me the name, the class. That is very, very important, whether it is duck or not. When you go for unsupervised learning, we call it as clustering, the same process. But can you guess what's the difference? The first difference is I have 5 animals, but I do not know which class does it belongs to. You may experience some application for which your predefined class is not known. In such cases, you cannot go and use your supervised learning algorithm. Point number one, which you should scribble in your notepad. Check if your data is having a already known data, right? If not, still we can train your machine to have intelligence, but without the possibility of having a predefined class. Look at the 5 animals now. When I give this 5 data into the machine, I am not going to give the predefined class. So the machine does not know whether it is a duck or a hare or a rabbit or porcupine or whatever it may be. But the only thing it will do is it will categorize all those which are similar into one category. First 3 animals are birds, then second and third. This also can be taken as classification, but not exactly classification because the output class is not given. And the third category is a bit advanced one, reinforcement learning. So whenever you take a decision in the previous two categories, you will get a carrot or a stick. What do you mean by carrot? A positive feedback. What do you mean by stick? And negative feedback, so that you can adjust yourself and take some good action. Right? So these reinforcement learning is mostly under research now, and I would like to concentrate more on supervised and unsupervised learning. So machine learning, what are the algorithms? So previously in the previous slides, I gave you what are the applications of supervised and how the supervised and unsupervised learning works, right? Now I'm going to give you the algorithms, right? When you go for classification, you can make use of support vector machines, discriminant analysis, naive-based algorithm, nearest neighbor, neural networks. Look at the regression algorithms and also look at the clustering algorithms. What is common to all these things? Neural networks. That's why artificial neural networks is very, very important. Now, can you tell me what is the definition for artificial neural networks? It is one type of iterative algorithm which comes under the category of machine learning and which can do all applications and which works on already known data, right? There are also unsupervised algorithms. So even if you're predefined class also, if you do not know, still it will work. And finally, it makes the machine intelligent. That is the ultimate idea. Now, this is a machine learning algorithms in a complete view. You can take a screenshot of this, or you can look at the video and you can have a complete idea of what is going on inside the machine learning algorithms. These are the different types of algorithms which comes under machine learning. So deep learning in a nutshell, deep learning is a subset of machine learning, and there are some differences between deep learning and machine learning. Deep learning requires large data, machine learning requires less data, but deep learning also comes under the category of ML. It provides high accuracy, so people now throng towards deep learning for all applications. But the drawback is takes longer time to train. That is one application or one research problem which I would like to give to you. How you can attack the computational complexity of deep learning. It requires GPU, CPU sufficient for ML, can be trained in different ways. So we will be seeing a lot about deep learning later. So this is what I want to conclude with the first part of our session. Past, we had man-to-man contact, right? Then present, we have man-to-machine contact. We talk about AI and ML and deep learning. And in future, maybe after 5 generations, my thought goes on to a term called as machine-to-machine. Where will human beings go? Nobody knows. So make sure whenever you create a machine, whenever you try to give intelligence to it, always have a plan B because it may backfire sometime. Now we will go into the artificial neural networks part. So AI, I taught you, ML, I taught you, and within ML, I am going to talk something about artificial neural networks. So this artificial neural networks is the base for deep learning. So the flow is in such a way that between ML and deep learning, you have artificial neural networks. Without artificial neural networks, it is absolutely false or wrong to study deep learning. So I have chosen artificial neural networks, which is a subset of machine learning, and I'm going to concentrate on that. Right. So hereafter, I will not talk about AI. I will not talk about ML. Right. I will be talking about artificial neural networks, but you must understand from where it came. So this is the hierarchy. ANN is a very, very small part, right? Artificial life is the biggest one. Artificial intelligence is the second one. And one way of incorporating artificial intelligence is your artificial neural networks, which is the smallest part of your complete structure. So what is this artificial neural networks, right? Humans have always wanted to build intelligent machines, right? Stories of automata, mechanical men have attracted human beings, right? Have you heard about black trade? You should have studied this concept of black trade in the subject of history or geography in your 8th standard or 9th standard. I am not sure about that, right? So this black trade is a business which was conducted or carried out in 17th or 16th century, right? The trade is nothing but these black people. African people are mostly imported as machines, right, to work in the dairy farms of European people. So when they were imported, they were made to work for all 24 hours with less food, and it's a cruelty. Later, some good-hearted, kind-hearted people came and they gave and they took some steps to make sure that this process is completely abolished. Now the Europeans are left with none to work for them. They have to work in their dairy plantations and dairy farms, but they are not ready to work. In that time, there was a stage play. Nowadays, we talk about all movies with woofers and everything, but those time there was a stage play, which was a Czechoslovakian play. I do not know the author or the director who created that, but the name of the play is Ensotium Roboticana. That was the first seed for artificial neural networks, right? In that play, he introduced the concept of artificial machines, right, working for the European people. Later, it attracted many, and nowadays you can see every movies or every entertainment. It may be Hollywood movies or Bollywood movies or in Tamil movies. You can see at least one villain or some machine creature will come and do some stuff, because that is going to be the future, and that has attracted human beings. Right, based on that cinematic movies, we have got many real-time implementations by the scientists, which they call it as robots, right? Long back, we had a robot called as Asimo from Japan. Next, we had Murai. Have you heard about the word Murai? And there are also some robots which are released by IITians, right? They can do some 100 applications or 1,000 applications maybe now, right? But they cannot behave exactly like a human being. So human beings are not satisfied, right? Human beings are not satisfied with this machine or the robot. So what they did is they want to have something different. Why they are not satisfied? I'll give an example. Right? Say, for example, I have a robot in my home. I come from a university on a hot day, right? And I have programmed my robot to give me a cup of coffee every day, right? But that day was specifically very hot. And what a human being will expect? Something very cold. But this robot is already pre-trained to give me only a coffee or something very hot. If I want to make it give me a some juice or something cold, I need to change that, right? Because it cannot take decisions on its own, because it does not have artificial intelligence incorporated within it, right? So I program it to give me something very cold, and next day I come from my university. What happens? As you know, the weather condition now, it will rain heavily. Now, what do I will expect? Something very hard. The climate or the environment or the world in which you are living is completely changing. You need to change according to the environment. Otherwise, you will not exist in this earth. Right? Survival of the fittest. So again, I need to change the robot. But if my wife or if my mother or if your sister or your wife or mother supposed to be there, you would have got something depending upon the environment. Am I right? The people will immediately switch on the fan if you're hot, or switch on the AC, or they will give you some warm stuffs to drink or eat if it is cold. That is possible with human beings, but not possible with the robots. So the scientists or the researchers thought, why don't I mix human beings and robots? Why don't I mix blood and flesh with steel and iron? Is it possible? It is not possible. Blood and flesh will not mix with steel and iron. So I need to find out some artificial form of human stuff which is able to give me the requirement based on the environment, and then mix it with my. So now the next question is, which part of the human being is able to guess the environment and take decision accordingly, right? Which part of the human body? It is going to be our brain. So people thought, if I can make an artificial brain and put it in the robot, then I will have a machine with artificial intelligence. So for intelligence, machine learning is required. For machine learning, one type is your artificial neural networks. That we are calling it as robots with sixth sense, so that they can also behave like human beings. Right? So when they thought we are going to make an artificial brain, when they thought they are going to make an artificial brain, they want to analyze whether they want to find something new or the already existing computer can act as an artificial brain. So they made a comparison. First one is in terms of accuracy. Can you tell me which one is better, computer or human brain? I can listen some voices saying computer or some voices as human brain. Look at this. What is this? Everybody knows. Even if I call my son, he will say it is A. What is this? This is also A. What is this? This is also A, right? The datas are different. Even though it is different, still I am in a position to say that this is A. But when you give it a computer to recognize alphabets, right? A is an creature. For it, it's a creature. Creature created with the two slanting lines and one sleeping line. If any of the changes occurs in these lines, it will not recognize it as A. You can say that I am going to train with all possible values of A. What is the use? Every day, even my handwriting today, if I write A, I am going to get in a different way. And again, it doesn't make any sense to make a computer recognize A with 100 images. One A is sufficient. Human beings are able to do. Why the computers are not able to do? Right? That is a speciality of human brain. When this human brain is transferred in the form of ML to the machine, they can also take a accurate decision. So my conclusion is, even if the data is incorrect or inaccurate, a human being can still get a correct answer with the concept of guessing, which is not possible with the computer. The second one is in terms of speed. I have two questions for you. What is 3 into 3? Everybody will give the answer as 9. But what is the next number which I have given you? You cannot tell it immediately. You need the help of a calculator, right? You go and check the calculator. You need a machine. You need a machine to support you. So you may say that machine is going to be superior in terms of speed. Again, the answer is wrong. When you do a single operation, machine seems to be having a higher speed. But when we go for parallel processing in today's life, not only in today's life, in human life, all our applications are parallel in nature, right? I am talking, I am seeing, right? I am feeling the temperature, I am listening to all my environment noises also. All these goes into my human brain via five sense organs. And I am taking a decision that I have to speak. But when you open or multiple screens in computer, if you have worked in deep learning, you will know. Deep learning with MATLAB, right? If you are executing that deep learning with MATLAB, after some time your computer will hang. If it's not having a good capacity, that doesn't mean you all the human beings can purchase a 20 lakh computer, right? The system is going to hang. The CPU speed will automatically come down. You open multiple things, the system will automatically stuck. You will not be able to do anything. But human beings can do multiple operations at a time without loss of significant accuracy. I will not say loss of accuracy, significant accuracy, which is tolerable for all practical applications. Scientists came to these two conclusions and they decided computer is not sufficient to replace human brain. They need something new. So they went into the concept of artificial neural. So before making the artificial neural network, they need to study the structure or the function of brain. Only then they can go for manufacturing the hardware product. So what are the characteristics? I'm listing you three characteristics: generalization, abstraction, cognition, and recognition. What is generalization? If you ask maybe a teenager who has gone to zoo, and if you ask him what you saw in zoo, they will say what people will see in zoo. They will see only animals and birds, right? What he is able to do, he is able to generalize tiger, lion, bear, all deer, all the animals under the category of animals. All the other categories which can fly under the group of birds. This is the characteristics of human brain. Don't know. Still, people do not know how it comes. But we are having the capability of generalization. Females, this side. Males, this side. This is the best example for generalization. Your neural network also, artificial neural network also must be in a position to do that. Next one is abstraction. What is abstraction? You need not read a lengthy paper. You read only the abstract, you can get the information from that. Putting everything in a nutshell is called as abstraction. If you do not have generalization, if you do not have abstraction, our practical life is very, very, very difficult. I will have an announcement in the morning. All final year students come to me. In one sentence, within 1 second, I finished it. But if I do not have the concept of generalization, I read to name or I need to read all the names of final year students one by one. Do you understand? Which is very, very, very difficult. And the third one is cognition and recognition. This is the concept which is very, very important. You store something in your brain and then you recollect something from your brain, which is the concept of training and testing. The third one is what we are going to see in detail. So all these three things should be done by an artificial neural network. And specifically for our FDP, I have taken the third one, the concept of cognition and recognition, which is used in many of the applications. So this cognition and recognition is the one which deals about training and testing. What is cognition? I know many of my friends are sitting there and looking at my face. If you are seeing me for the first time, not your category, you are cognizing me. All my characteristic features, my face, the way in which I talk, my expressions, everything is stored within your brain. If you are seeing for the second time, then you are recognizing me, recognition. People say, I am craving for recognition. I am not getting any recognition. It is somebody should recollect your face and tell that you are appointed as a professor or whatever it may be, right? That is the concept of recognition. Our human life revolves around cognition and recognition. Good example. And our brain learns normally without any support. That is, it is the God's creation that we have a natural intelligence where we can move freely. The same thing is expected when you create an artificial neural networks or a machine learning algorithm or the complete AI structure. We'll look at a few concepts of cognition and recognition. What is cognition? Training. What do you mean by training? Your brain is new to your data, right? Suppose if I go to Taj Mahal, right? If I go to Taj Mahal for the first time, I will be wondering about the beauty of Taj Mahal and say this is made of this marble, that design, all these things, right? All those data will be stored in my brain, right? So training is necessary only for a new data. In your application, when you are doing programming, you should split your data into two groups called as training data and testing data. First, you are making the machine learn. That is machine learning. Making the machine learn with the already known historical or a already known data, which is actually a new data, right? Once a new data is trained, the machine is trained for that. How many of you can write a sentence in Greek language? Greek language? In Malaysian language, many of you can write because many participants are there. How many of you can write in Greek language? Maybe none, because you are not trained for that. But once you are trained with the alphabets of Greek language, everyone can start writing sentences in that. That is the concept of training. During training, the brain parameters gets adjusted. We will be seeing in detail about all these concepts later. Our brain parameters gets adjusted. How? Nobody knows. And finally, the information will be stored. When I say I have studied soft computing subject, my brain is completely learned in an iterative fashion. My parameters are getting adjusted, and finally, the information is stored there. If the person gets only a glimpse of the monument, like sometimes I go to Taj Mahal and looking at the distance, it will be like 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers. Those who are from Delhi will know that 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers. I will feel like, I should walk all this distance. Let me sit in one of the stones. I sit and I come back. Then when my friends ask me, what did you see in Taj Mahal? How can I tell them? Because already the information is not stored properly in my brain. That's why students fail in the exams. When they learn, they are not learning it properly. The information is not stored in their brain sufficiently. Right? That's why they are not able to recognize, recollect later when the examination question paper is given. So the success of your application with machine learning or deep learning is based on the methodology in which you are training the network. Like our human brain, which whose success depends upon training, your neural network success also depends only on training. After training, what happens? Examination. You will be asked to check, right? When I go into the implementation and the programming concepts, I will be detailing about the concept of testing. Testing is very easy, right? Training is very difficult. But once you train your algorithm or your machine learning approach, which are with a good algorithm, definitely you are going to get a very good result. For example, the students are asked to take a test in physics after making them learn it for one semester, right? The error rate depends upon the nature of learning. If he had learned nicely, then he will pass. If not, he will not. This is the important line. Now, this is a second point which you should scribble in your note. Testing should not take place with the trained data. Training data is different. Testing data is different. For example, I teach in the class 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. But if I ask the same question in his exams, he will easily write 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. So I should change the inputs or the question in my test. Only then I can check what is the level of learning of that brain, whether he will be able to capable of doing all mathematical calculations. This is one example for you. If we have a face-to-face interaction, it would have been very nice. Can you guess what is this creature? I'll read it for you. Is gray, has a trunk, has big ears, has four legs. No, you are not trained properly. Now, can you guess? Has a tail, has thick skin, is big, has a good memory. Yes, absolutely correct. It is elephants. Right? Some people gave the answer immediately. Some people took some time, and finally they gave the answer. So your brain is trained accordingly for a input feature of elephants. Can you guess this one at least? Has a tail, has whiskers, says meow. Which creature or which animal says meow? Everybody will say the answer. It is a cat. So this is the way how we are going to give a data. Tail is a data. Whiskers is a data. Four legs is a data. Meow is a data. Mice is the data. Purse is a data. Right? So based on that, we are going to take a decision. Never ever forget it is all about decision making to live in this world. So your artificial machine learning approach also should take a very good decision. So much emphasis is given on training, which is considered to be the lifeline of ANN. So the entire theory of ANN is covered with different training algorithms, right? So first I talked about AI, then I left that, then I talked about ML, then I left that, then I talked about ANN, and in ANN, I will be concentrating more on the concept of training. So concluding remarks of today's session, ANN, which is going to be form the most important structure of natural brain, which is going to be the spinal cord of our artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning approaches also. So only if you are very good in ANN, if you study completely ANN, then you can say, I know one approach of machine learning. Remember, ANN is just one approach of machine learning. There are vast many approaches as I given in the previous slide for machine learning. It will still be a computer program with inputs and outputs. Don't think that you are going to have a hardware creature, right? As I told you, robots are different, AI is different. That's a concept called as intelligent robots. When I say intelligent robots, it's a mutually exclusive concept of artificial intelligence and robots. But what I'm talking is plain dumb robots, right? That is a hardware structure. But when you go for intelligence, it's going to based on completely computer programs, right? Don't get tense that I need to have some programming skill. It's not like that. When I was a student, I struggled a lot with programming, but day by day practice, you can easily get that experience. Remember, ANN is not equal to NN. What is NN? Natural brain or natural neural network. Artificial neural network is something artificial, right? God has created in such a way that we should not reach to Him, right? So even though we are able to create neural network, it will not be exactly equivalent to ANN. But scientists are trying to create at least something which is equivalent to 99% same as that of the human. So that's all for this day. I hope you would have got a complete understanding. As I told you, the slogan of today's session is deep understanding. Without knowing the differences and the concepts, it is very, very difficult to learn about ML and DL. Please, you can go through the video again and again, get accustomed to that. Then you can come to the next session where we are going to go much more in depth. At that time, if you are not able to understand these concepts, then it's very, very difficult. To assist you, I'm going to give you an assignment now. You can submit it later. That instructions will be given by the coordinator. You have to collect at least 25 ML techniques or algorithm, right? You Google it, right? Google it, take one algorithm. The name may be Greek to you, absolutely fine. Check whether it is supervised or unsupervised. Draw two tables, supervised, unsupervised, put it under the category of supervised. I'm not touching reinforcement, right? So supervised or unsupervised, and write 2 lines about each of them. Then you will understand at least something by which your ML algorithms work, right? Coordinator will give you further instructions about how to submit the assignment. Now, we can go to the question and answer session, right? You can give the your contact details to the coordinator, Asunta madam, so that she will let you in inside the uh, StreamYard session, so we can have a live interaction and have a chat, right? Thank you
Sir,
very much for your patience.
sir, one of the participant is in line. She's
Yeah, yeah.
connected.
Okay. Can I close this screen, ma'am? Can I stop
Yes,
sharing the
yes,
slide?
sir. Yes, sir. Munmi Datta? Munmi?
Yeah, hello, ma'am.
Yes. You can ask.
Hello, sir. So, am I audible?
Hello.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, Dr. Munmi. Yeah, tell me.
Uh, my question is that suppose I want to create a model for classification of suppose two class. My first
Okay.
class is suppose lion, and second class is human being. So I have
Uh,
trained the system giving the example
your
of
first.
only lion
Okay.
and human being. So this model is trained. Then while
You
testing,
want
I
to.
if I give
Okay.
yes sir. And while testing, when I give the
You
pictures
want to
of lion,
classify.
yes.
Yes, tell me. Tell me. Continue.
And while the testing method, in the testing, I give the pictures of human being or lion, then the system will give the answer properly. But if I give the
Okay.
image of something else, like car, bike,
Okay.
how the system will
Okay.
understand that this is not from this two class? So for that, how
Okay.
should I train the model perfectly?
Okay, it depends upon the number of your classes, right? So you are
Yes.
saying that you are going to have a two classes, like whether it is animal or a human being. If you give a car now, the machine will know that you are the master of the machine, right? Now the
Yeah.
machine will know that you are expecting that to be fit into either animal or human. It will not know whether it is a car or a human or an animal. The intelligent algorithm will take it only as numbers, right?
Hmm.
So if you want to solve that problem, you need to create another category. You should have a third class which states that none of these. Then your intelligent algorithms it has a chance to put your car into the third category. Otherwise, it is absolutely wrong to expect a machine. You are expecting a machine to put your data into any one of these categories, but you are giving a data which is not belonging to any of these categories. So the machine will do some similarity measures, and it will check if your car is close to a human being as it looks on, it will put your car into that category. That's it. So to avoid that, create a third class.
Okay, so for the third class, now regarding
Okay,
the features, when I'm calculating the features, giving the features for animal class and human being, I gave that. Now, when I'm
okay,
creating the third class, what
okay.
features should I take? Because that is a very
Same,
broad class, huge class will be
same
there.
features, right? Say for example, if you are extracting, say for example, entropy and mean, right? These are two
Okay,
features which you are extracting from lion. If you're extracting a mean and entropy from lion, you should extract only entropy and mean from human being. You should extract mean and entropy only from your car also. The feature cannot change from one image to another image. All the three categories should have the same features, right? So when you do like that, since car is sufficiently different from a lion, and since car is sufficiently different from a human being, definitely the entropy value of a car will be different from the other two categories. You understood my point? Right?
Yes, sir.
So definitely the neuron output, when you check that, if you are giving a target of 1 for animal, 0 for thing, that third thing will have another value. Automatically it will put under that category. Did I
Okay.
answer you, Munmi?
Yeah, sir, one more doubt.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
this
definitely.
CNN model is not perfect, that means
If the CNN,
CNN, convolution neural network,
okay,
won't be
CNN
perfect
model.
for this. Should I use
No, we have
CNN model for this? Because
for this application, I will not advise you to go for CNN immediately. Have you tried with
okay.
artificial neural networks?
No, actually, I just
Have you
tried
tried
with
with
CNN,
artificial
but
neural networks? Ah,
no, I didn't get the
no,
data.
don't.
Actually,
That's why
I
I
need.
told in my presentation.
Yeah.
Okay. If
Okay.
first you
I got.
go with the neural network implementation, then you go.
Mhm. Okay.
Right?
Thank you, sir.
Participants, please give your introduction about you before asking the question.
Sir, some participants have posted a question in the chat box.
Okay, ma'am. You
I'll
can read
tell
it
you.
for me.
Yes, sir. Which computer
Okay.
language skill is needed for artificial intelligence?
Excellent question, right? Nobody is going to ask you in when I say computer language skill, I think you are meaning to programming language, right? Nobody is going to ask you whether you have implemented in C or C++ or MATLAB or Java or R or Python or Orange or Keras or whatever it may be, right? Nobody is going to bother. Your algorithm is important, not the way or not the programming language in which you are going to execute your algorithm. So whatever program you are comfortable with, you can learn. But when you go for artificial intelligence, specifically neural networks and deep learning, the data is huge, right? The data is huge. So people suggest Python as one of the preferable language for implementation of AI and machine learning techniques, right? But if you feel Python as complex and if you are good in other languages, then it's fine, right? And in any language, you can go for your implementation, right? In your research paper or whatever it may be, people are not going to bother about your language. Your algorithm is going to play a major role. Python, I may suggest Python. If you ask me, I would suggest Python. Somebody else, if you ask me, somebody else will say another language, right? So depends upon your capability, you can learn any one of the language, but at least one language is important. MATLAB, Python, R language, or Java, or Orange, or in deep learning, you have many TensorFlow, Keras. Having some idea about all these things will help you.
Second question, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello. A second question. Python and
Yeah, tell
R
me.
are
Uh,
Python and R are generally used for machine learning. What is the use of learning R?
yeah, I am not into the programming language of R, so I think I am not the correct person to give you the difference between Python and R. As far as Python is considered, you can give a large amount of data in a single line, single programming line, right? So for me, Python seems to be the best. Since I am not into the programming language of R, I think I am not the correct person to answer this question to you.
Next question. Can you please give an example for natural intelligence and artificial intelligence?
Natural intelligence and artificial intelligence are same, right? Natural intelligence, when I look at the screen, right, immediately I recognize this as computer, right? Because I have already seen computers many times, right? So when I look at the computer for the first time, right, when I look at the computer for the first time, I do not know that it is a computer, Then based on my uh, input given by my parents or my siblings, I will come to know that it is a computer. Right? This is some stuffs going on inside my brain, which helps to me recognize that this is a computer. But when you go for artificial intelligence, once you have a machine, you will not be able to have a intelligence to recognize that it is a computer, right? So you need to artificially incorporate some machine learning methods into it to make sure that it recognizes that it is a computer, right? So there is no application like you have a difference between NI and ML, right? Both are NI and AI, both are same only, but NI is automatically inside our brain, but AI is one thing which we are going to incorporate artificially with the help of ML and deep learning approaches, right? And then what are the things which are happening in natural human body that we are going to try to replicate? That is the difference between NI and AI. You cannot have a completely two different streams of NI and AI. That is not possible. We are going to replicate NI in our AI.
And the next question, can we use ML application other than image classifier?
Yes, yes. I have taken one example as image classification, uh, but you can use any applications for, you can make use of ML for any other applications. I do not know the background of the person who asked this question, right? If I know the background, I can give you more specific answer. Not only image classification or any other data processing is also possible, but convolution neural networks, there are some methods which works well with images. The reason I think works well with images is because human brain works well with images. That may be one of the reasons.
The next one is how ML different from data mining?
How ML is different from data mining? Data mining is a method. Data mining is a method from which you are going to derive lots and lots of information, right? Associate professor, if I give you a data, what are the informations you can retrieve? Right, associate professor, then there comes to category of knowledge representation or expert system. An associate professor, he will get a package of so and so, he will be a permanent employee, he will be associated with any of the academic institution, these are his responsibilities, or all the things which you are going to grasp from that data, that is called as data mining. Data mining need not require the assistance of machine learning, right? But when you go for machine learning, it is going to be a vast application. It need not go for only data mining. It can be used for many applications where the training and testing process will take place, right? So ML, if you say ML, it is a algorithm or a methodology. But when you say data mining, it is almost corresponds to a application from where you are going to derive lots and lots of information from a single text of data, or it can be an image or a signal also.
So next one, how CNN different from deep learning?
CNN is not exactly different from deep learning. We have a normal neural networks also called as convolutional neural network, right? But nobody much uses that network. But CNN, as far my understanding, most of the convolutional networks with more layers, right? That is a part and parcel of deep learning. CNN is a method of deep learning, or you can say, to be precise, deep CNN, right? DCNN can be a part of your deep learning approaches.
Okay, so next, how much data is needed for ML and DL? Machine learning.
This is a $1 million question. Even I am struggling when I go for implementation. More the data, the better will be your output. Again, you cannot say it is going to be linear also. There may be some non-linearity for some applications. So these are the open research problems when you go into the practical implementation of ML and DL. Depending upon the amount of data which you are able to collect, you can start your implementations, right? If you are not satisfied with your results, then just one reason, maybe insufficient amount of data. But there is nothing like you need to have this much amount of data. But when you go into research, paper publication or something like that, then you can go for at least triple digit data. If it are images, if you are signals, at least 100 should be there. That too, if you go for a normal brain MRI images, then the number of images expected by the research community is very huge, 500, 600 images. So if you test your images with if you test your algorithm with more images, then the validation of your approach is also good, right? That's what they will expect. You cannot check your method with one or two images and say that my method is 100% perfect. That is not correct, right? So if you are going into research aspects, at least three figures. If it is a common application, more than 500, right? More the images or more the data, more your accuracy will be.
Okay, sir. Next question. What is the scope of implement artificial intelligence in wireless network?
Artificial intelligence in a wireless network, right? Wireless network is a broad area. As for my understanding, I am not completely into wireless networks. You will have some nodes, right? And the energy consumption of the node is one of the important aspects, because I have helped some of my students working in wireless networks, and also the placement of the nodes, right? Which position you should place to get the correct output, right? I think these are the two important applications, right? The first one comes under the category of prediction, right? When you say ML and AI, their application will be very general prediction. You have to see how you are going to predict or make use of AI and ML in your method. In your wireless sensor networks, you can check how much energy is consumed. That prediction part can be done with the help of AI and ML, or placing the nodes, or how many nodes should I use, right? These are the concepts of optimization, right? For that also you can make use of A and M. These are the two things I know, but when you go into depth about wireless sensor networks, you will come to know about many things.
Next, is ML can handle easily linear and non-linear type of data?
Mm, easily, I do not know this vague whether it is a correct word or not. And nothing is easy in this world, as you should understand, right? Linear data anybody can do, right? It is very easy. Almost all the applications will do. But when you come to non-linear case, human beings can do in a good way, but sometimes human beings also will fail, right? Our machine learning also follows the same principle of human beings. So we cannot assure that our approach will be perfect for all non-linear applications. Generalization is not possible. Only after checking your method with such applications, we can come to a conclusion for this type of non-linear applications, my data works, right? There is a network called as perceptron. You can check that perceptron. There is a case where it fails when it goes for non-linear type of data. So it depends upon the application which you use.
Okay, sir. There are many questions are there. So
Yeah.
I can ask the
What?
participants to contact you through
Yeah, yeah,
mail or
sure. I, I,
WhatsApp
thi-
number.
I think I am also in the WhatsApp group um, created by madam. Just I want to help you, right? See, this is a research community or a research discussion. So in whatever way possible, I am always open to help you people. So in spite of my busy schedule, I have uh, given permission for madam to include my name in the WhatsApp group also. So you can ask any questions, or with that number, you can have a private chat also. You can note my email ID. I think I have not given there. Jude Hemanth at karunya.edu. JUDEHEMANTH. JUDEHEMANTH. All small cases at the rate karunya.edu. KARUNYA.edu. You can ask me all the queries. I can help in the best possible way I can. If I'm unable to help you, at least I can give you the place from where you can get the solution. Thank you. Many of you have given excellent feedback. Very simple and informative, sir. Nice presentation, sir. Excellent talk, sir. Everything is good. Thank you very much. More than me, as I told you, receiver is more important. Your patience is the key for the success of this workshop. Try to learn. Don't just hear and leave everything. Learn all these things and try to implement in your real life. Right? Thank you. Madam, any more queries? Shall I come out of the StreamYard link? If you have any queries, we can discuss in the WhatsApp, and we will meet you, all of you, tomorrow also, same time. Thank you very much.